Hello, today I'll be talking about hermeneutics and what is hermeneutics and what are the steps of hermeneutics when it comes to the biblical scripture. So, first things first, what is hermeneutics? As many of you guys know, it is the study of text within the Bible and how it refers to today's age, how it refers to the culture, how it refers to a lot of different things. It kind of puts all that together to get the true and most accurate definition of what the text is trying to say. Now, I know it's a very complicated word to say. I honestly just figured it out about 5 minutes ago because I just couldn't figure it out. But when it comes to hermeneutics, there is two aspects that are very important and I think are very interesting. The artistic side of hermeneutics and the scientific side. Now, the scientific side is the exact translation of, for example, it is kind of a very, from Greek, or depending on what we're translating it to English, and it becomes very difficult, mainly because of how hard it is to figure out what is the correct interpretation of it. They might be thinking, well, that's very easy, if I have something that says God, then when I translate it, it'll mean God. But that is not always true. As we know, when it comes to a very important word that we use a lot is love. Love is a very easy to misinterpret word. And I say that because there's about 3 or 4 different translations to what love is. First translation is obviously, I love somebody with all my heart and soul, and they are my forever significant other. The second one is going to be, I love something, or, I really love my shoes. I really love my hoodie. I really love my hair. And that's a different kind of level when it comes to love. Here are a few things that you want to make sure of when you're reading the Bible. The first thing is, or I guess the step one is contextualizing the verse within its passage. So you're going to want to look before and after the passage and see what it really means. You don't want to just look at those specific words within that or that specific verse within the Bible. You want to see what is before and after. And that is why I think it's so important to not just read and look at motivational Bible verses, because a lot of times, yes, within themselves they're positive, but if you really look into it and you really see what the true meaning of it, it can be completely different than what you were what that single verse that you saw is trying to explain. The second is going to be contextualize the passage of the book to its original context. Now, what does that mean? Now, this is kind of when it comes to understanding the author's point of view and understanding why the author used the certain words that he did, because you're going to try to figure out the big picture of it. For example, when it comes to Revelation, the big picture is the end times. The big picture isn't, these small things will happen and, it's just terrible. But it is the biggest picture of that it is the end times, and we have to focus and we have to be ready for it. And that is what the big picture of that passage is. And that really helps you contextualize the book. It helps you understand when you're reading it, and when you go into it saying, oh, this is the end time, so I'm going to take this in a different light than I would, the synoptic gospels. I'm going to take this in a different light than I would, than if I was than if I was reading about Acts. Third step is to look for keywords and phrases based on the original backgrounds and cultures. This is very, very important because you want to make sure that you know what was happening during that time. It's like I said, it's a completely different culture, and it's a completely different meaning. One thing it can be very obvious is some people are very big on like hugs and kisses on the cheek, and that's a very for at least for my aspect and what I've known, it's very much a Hispanic and Spanish tradition to do that, kind of the Italian European style of like showing love or appreciation for somebody, or just kind of saying hi and goodbye, versus here sometimes we're more into the handshakes, the high fives, the fist bumps, things like that. So it's different things. So you have to be when you're reading the Bible, obviously they're not referring to those things, but you have to understand when they're talking about oil lamps, or when they're talking about the needle and and the camel and what they're referring to in that. And we have to make sure that we're not thinking of just what we have now, but thinking about what they had then, what the culture was, what society was, what the societal norms were. We have to put that into aspects, and that with that we can understand the message and then grasp that and use it in our current times. So with that, that'll be all for now. Thank you so much for watching. Have a great day.